One of the greatest problems we face in our lives is that we tend to be often naive. We think we know everything, we think we are right, we defend everything we believe. We go into the arguments as we are 100% sure of every single word that comes out from our mouth. This attitude has shaped our character in such a way where we stop believing that we might be wrong. This has created an illusion in our minds that we don't need to confirm if what we know is right when the reality can be completely different since everything is changing around. Because of this conflict between our perception and a different reality, we started living in a fantasy that we have created in our minds and became afraid to face the reality itself. When things get tough and you're overwhelmed by the problems all around, your mind starts dreaming and going into fantasies. You wish things were in a certain way, you wish you knew how to solve them all and get rid of them. But if things are going well, you start imagining that what you have will continue forever. You stop paying attention. Before you know it, you end up surrounded by lots of other problems because of the changes going on. This world is harsh and dangerous, and the only way to overcome it is to always be attentive and see things for what they are instead of living in a fantasy that's far from the reality. Let me share with you 3 strategies to keep your eye always sharp. Rediscover curiosity. Napoleon Bonaparte was one of the greatest generals in history, and what elevated him above others is his openness to any information that was out there. He would try to cut the middleman and confirm the information by himself. He would listen to the ideas of his opponents and would value any information that he would grasp because he understood that what he believes might be completely false because the environment is constantly changing, and if he doesn't change his views as fast as the reality is changing, he would be no different from all other generals. Your goal is to follow the path of the Napoleon. Your mind has been in this situation when you were a child, the position of the basic ignorance. Remember when you had a need and hunger for knowledge to overcome this ignorance, so you observed the world as closely as possible. Everything was a source of wonder because everything was freaking new to you at that time. But with time, our minds tend to close off. At some point, we feel like we know what we need to know. Our opinions are certain and firm. We do this out of fear because we don't want our assumptions about life to be challenged. When you return your mind to the position that it was when you were a child, you open up to new experiences. Just imagine for a day that you don't know anything, that what you believe could be completely false. Forget your preconceptions, even your most cherished beliefs. Force yourself to hold the opposite opinion or see the world through your enemy's eye. Listen to the people around you with more attention. See everything as a source of education. When you think in this way, you will notice something strange often happens. Opportunities will begin to fall into your lap because you are suddenly more open to them. See further ahead. By our nature as rational, conscious humans, we often think about the future. But most people, out of fear, limit their view of the future to a narrow range. They think of tomorrow, a few weeks ahead. Perhaps they might have a plan for months to come. But because we are generally dealing with so many immediate battles, day-to-day problems, it's hard for us to lift our gaze about the moment and think about the long-term future. But the farther we can plan into the future, the greater our capacity will be to shape it according to our desires. If you have a long-term goal for yourself, one that you have planned in detail, then you're better able to make the proper decision today. You know which battles or positions to avoid because they don't advance you towards your goal. With your gaze lifted to the future, you can focus on the dangers that will be on your way and take proactive actions today to avoid them. Sometimes the things we focus on in the present don't matter in the long run. Look at people's deeds, not words. You don't get mad if people deceive you in a war or any competitive game because that's the nature of wars. Winning is all what matters. You should look at life with the same perspective, although that it might not seem like that sometimes. Life is a game that everyone is playing to win, and some people will use moral justifications to advance their side. Haven't you seen politicians swearing by God to protect you when they don't believe in the existence of God in the first place? You understand that everyone is after power, and to get it, most people occasionally manipulate and deceive. Therefore, you should not believe people based on what they say, but rather based on their actions. Their actions in the past is the best measure to predict their actions in the future. You must become a better observer of people. People often, if not always, behind their desires, especially power and money. And the deeper you can look into the needs of people, the more accurate you can predict their actions. And that's a big advantage in the game of life. In general, looking at people through the lens of your emotions will cloud what you see and make you misunderstand everything. Therefore, look at people with a sharp eye for what they are, not for what they say they are. This was a book review of The Fifth Law by Robert Greene. I'm looking into making more videos about this book. This book is absolutely amazing. Every chapter is filled with wisdom. I'm even thinking to make a separate video for each chapter. Let me know what you guys think about it. Thanks guys for watching. As always, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new to this channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.